Welcome to another episode of Hard Target Range. Today we're going to be shooting the Ruger Service 6. Let's go shooting. Yeah, it's cold. That footage you saw of me shooting, if you follow my channel, you recognize that was my old hat. Yeah, that was from last year. That footage. Right now, we've had a warm last few days, and the shooting range is kind of full of water. And we had a lot of snow this winter, and we've had about 4 days in a row above 40 degrees where it didn't freeze at night, and it's basically a swamp down there. It's a mess. So I took the liberty of cheating and using that footage from last year. Yeah. This is the firearm we're looking at this week on the Hard Target Range. My old Ruger Service 6. And I really like the Rugers for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons I like them the most is because this is the first gun I had when I started working. So it kind of sticks with you, but I do like the cylinder release on these. We'll show that to you, where you just push in on it and the cylinder pops out. It just, especially when you start with that, it becomes instinctual to you, and it's hard to go to something else, so I'm sure that's part of it. I also like the Rugers because they're inexpensive and they're ruggedly built and they just seem to last, and they're designed to be a little more forgiving. Not as many intricate parts as, say, a Colt or a Smith & Wesson of the day. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about all the things that go with keeping it maintained and running as much as you do with those nicely made, a little bit nicer than a Ruger would be, as in a little finer and more labor intensive on their manufacturing process to make it. I like things simple. I like things that are easy and things that Mr. Holster breaks stuff a lot, stuff that's hard to break. So yeah, I like a Ruger. This firearm is a .357 Magnum, which of course you can shoot .38 Special through. 6-round cylinder, blued. It happens to have the spurless hammer. It does have some checkering on the top of it, so you can grab it to cock it, but I don't know anybody that's ever done that. But it is nice to keep your sport coat from getting torn up with this, and I like these a lot also. I find that if you'd go through my collection of revolvers, you'd find there aren't any adjustable sight revolvers there. They're all fixed sights. Because I've torn up more than one sport coat in my life on an end frame, on those sights on an end frame. So I've found it in all the firearms I've owned in my lifetime, pretty much the fixed sight ones, they're milled right into the frame. The sights either put on the front or it's part of the barrel. If they're set dead center, yeah, they work. So it's, yeah, there you go. This has always been a fairly accurate firearm for me, and it's nice not to have those sight issues with the clothing. I happen to like using this Kramer leather cross-draw holster is what it really is. It's designed to be worn on the left side and drawn with your right hand. And it worked really well for years while you're sitting in a vehicle, a good backup firearm is what it would have been used for. So thought I'd share that with you today. This, of course, is part of the 6 lineup that Ruger used to make, being the Speed 6, the Security 6, and the Service 6. All basically the same firearm with a few differences. Of course, the Security 6 mostly is an adjustable sight affair, where the Service 6 is the fixed sight, and your Speed 6 is slightly, and I'll say slightly, smaller firearm. Most of them were made in the Speed 6, but there are no rules for these 3 guns. They intermingle. Most of them in the Speed 6 were made with fixed sights and a 2 3/4 inch barrel. A lot of 4-inch barrels out there. Big difference between the Speed 6 and the Service 6 and Security 6 is it has more of a rounded butt right on the end here, made a little bit easier to carry in plain clothes, which is what it was designed for. Well, there you go, guys. There's a really brief talk about the old Ruger 6 lineup and a little peek at my old Service 6. Thanks for tuning in this week. I'll leave you with a little more footage of me out there on the HardTarget range shooting those beautiful steel hard targets with this old Service 6.
Till next time, for Mr. Holster and Jack, go out and stay safe.